Hey, so how's the scoreboard set up?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming.
So that's what it looks like. I just have that file that I just put the scores into and it'll update it.
So my name is Amy Hasvold, and I am the camp director at South Dakota Mines.
So each team gets
camp is a co-curricular program that we have at South Dakota Mines.
100-foot throws,
most of our competition teams here today are a part of our camp program.
So then your score is based on how close.
And so as the teams introduce themselves, I'll tell you a little bit more about the competition team that they're participating in this year. We also have two future camp teams here with us today. One from Douglas High School and one from Spearfish Middle School. And so you'll hear from them in a little bit too.
Based off of like how close they are.
And so before we get started, I have just a few safety things to go over with everyone.
If you throw 90,
we're here to have fun.
But
we also want to make sure everyone leaves here safe. So there's a few rules. The first rule is you cannot come within the tape. So I already see some people that are inching their way onto the field. Please, everyone, take 3 steps back. And so we have a nice clearance between the tape and the field. We also cannot have anyone standing at the end of the field, either behind us or on the far end. We're going to be launching pumpkins down there. Our students have tried to dial in their trebuchets to hit specific distances, but they may come further than the tape. So please move over to the side. No one can stand at the end of the field. That goes for you over here too. I'm so sorry, but you have to move back to the edge of the field. No one can be behind on either end. And so back here on the sidewalk, same for you guys. These trebuchets have been designed and built with safety in mind, but there is a chance for misfire behind us. And so I've got a group of great students that are here to help control safety, keeping you guys safe. We want to have fun today, but safety is top of our mind. And so they're going to make sure that everything is clear before we launch, both behind us, on the sides. And so I'm going to check with our safety team to make sure that there's no traffic on the sidewalks before we do any sort of launches. So our students today are competing for a grand prize of $1,000. And so before we start, I just also want to thank Respect Engineering, our sponsor for today. So they were started in Rapid City, headquartered in Rapid City, now have engineers all over the United States and do engineering work worldwide. They have a booth over in Main Street Square, and so after we finish launching pumpkins today, please head over to their booth and thank them for making this competition possible for us. Can I get a round of applause for Respect? You guys are pretty quiet for us to be out here launching pumpkins. And so we have 8 out of our 11 camp teams here today. 3 of our teams were unable to join us because it's been a busy week over at South Dakota Mines. This week is homecoming for South Dakota Mines. Football kickoff is today at 2 p.m. versus New Mexico Highlands. And so we hope that you're also joining us over at the football game. If you can't make it today, our next home game is October 1st against Black Hills State University. So if you're joining us down here from Spearfish, I hope you also come out, support our hometown teams next 2 weeks from now over at O'Hara Stadium. So let's get this rolling. So we have a few t-shirts to shoot out into the crowd. So can I get some energy from you guys? So we have t-shirts from South Dakota Mines and from Respect to shoot out. All right, so this morning we will have 2 launches from each of our teams. The first launch, their goal is to hit exactly 100 feet. So you can see those first signs out in the field. Our teams are trying to hit the 100 mark. They get points deducted for any distance off of that 100 feet they are. Our second launch will be aiming for 200 feet. Then we'll take a short break and we'll be back here at noon to do our final 2 launches where they're attempting to hit 250 feet and then the furthest they can throw within the boundaries. And so, we'll go ahead and let our teams introduce themselves. So first up is our Rocker Robotics team. Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone. I am Dustin Richards. I am president of South Dakota Mines Rocker Robotics. Our trebuchet is right over there with the blue arm. Its name is Gronald. And we have designed it to throw very far and very fast. It's a lot of fun to watch. I am a 6-year student at School of Mines, mastering in computer science and engineering. A little bit about robotics. I'm not done talking. So robotics is a competition team on campus. We choose a different competition every year. We have not yet chosen our competition for this year, but we generally do ground-based, autonomous, or remote-controlled robots.
Thanks, Dustin. Next up, we have our Baja team from South Dakota Mines.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cassidy Chauvel. I'm a 4th-year metallurgical engineering student. I'm the president of the Baja team this year. And what we do as a team is design, build, and compete with an off-road vehicle. You can take a look at our cards. It's over near the stand. So this year we're going to be competing in Oregon. And our trebuchet is this orange-ish one you may remember from previous years, and it's named the Kool-Aid Man. So we're here to win back our trophy this year.
So our last year's champions were our robotics team. Second place was Baja, so they will be facing off today. Next up,
So I updated
we
that.
have
Scoreboards.
Douglas High
And
School.
He's gonna get the scores from them. So if you want to just like look at that scoreboard, it should have the right scores and stuff on it.
Hi, I'm Leah Braun.
Someone was
This is
gonna run
our
them to me.
trebuchet. We built it.
Yeah,
over
we'll do
2
it this way
weeks.
because I think it'll be. You don't
We
have to
all
have somebody
almost
to-
wanted to
you
give
can
up
see the actual
within the
scores,
last
so.
2 days, but we made lots and lots of adjustments and figured out
So
what we
which
were doing
scoreboard am I
wrong.
looking at?
No.
It's called the Iron Patriot.
Refresh it real quick.
and-
That should be the right team list.
Thanks for joining us today, Douglas. Next, we have
Mine,
Spearfish
I'm
Middle
streaming
School.
right now. Okay, yeah.
Hello, my name is Colin, and we have been building since Tuesday, and we're from the middle school in Spearfish. This is the first time we got to do this in our school, because we got a new teacher, and he came up with this project, and it took us a while to convince the school to let us do it, but after a while we got it, and pretty sure that we're gonna do pretty good.
I'm back at Man's Pool. As he said, we've been building since Tuesday. And our goal is to shoot the Spartan Slinger 50 feet at least. 50 feet.
All right, well, I can't wait to see all of you students from Douglas and Spearfish up at South Dakota Mines in our camp program in a few years. Our next team is the Chemi Car from South Dakota Mines.
Hi, my name is Ellie Smith. I'm a chemical engineering major and I'm one of the co-captains of ChemiCar. ChemiCar is basically a competition where we have a small, about shoebox sized car that starts and stops based off of different chemical reactions, and then when we get to competition, we find out how far we're trying to go about an hour before it starts. Our trebuchet is over there, the second one from the end. It's not great. We started from scratch this year. Hopefully it will be better in future years.
All right, and our last competitor today is the Steel Bridge team from South Dakota Mines.
Hey everybody, so I'm Ruth Potter. I'm a third-year civil engineering student at South Dakota Mines, and I'm the captain of Steel Bridge this year. So Steel Bridge, we construct a modular steel bridge every single year from a different set of rules. So we go to competition in the spring, and we'll see how that goes this year. Our trebuchet is named Positive Mental Attitude because that's what we're hoping to have today. So I hope you all have fun, and let's go shoot some pumpkins.
So we also have our concrete canoe team here helping us keep score today.
Worst material to make a canoe out of.
Hey everybody, my name's Ben Lewis. I'm the captain of the South Dakota Mines concrete canoe team this year. I am a third-year civil engineering student. Every single year we design and build a concrete canoe from the ground up. Yes, it floats and we race it. You can come see it over here on this side by the blue tent. And today we're helping out with scoring for the trebuchet competition.
Our last team here this morning is our clean snowmobile team.
Just to check if you guys have your stream working.
Hey everyone, my name's Fernando Chavez, 5th year mechanical engineering student, and I'm the team captain for the clean snowmobile team. Our competition is we get a snowmobile and modify it so it produces the cleanest emissions possible and then test it against other schools in Wisconsin. And today, Clean Sled's here helping out with safety, so you'll see us telling you to back away from the tape all day long.
All right, we'll have one other team here this afternoon. Our super mileage team will also be helping us with our safety, so come back this afternoon to learn about our super mileage team. So before we get started, some more reminders for those of you that have just joined us. Safety is our #1 priority. We've built these trebuchets with safety in mind. We have them dialed in to throw specific lengths, but misfires may happen, so I cannot have anyone on the sidewalk behind or anyone at the end of the field. So please move off to the side to watch the competition. And once we are clear, we will get ready to get started. So robotics, are you cocked and ready? All right, so keep an eye out for our safety team in these yellow vests. Please respect their instructions. If they ask you to scoot over, please do so. All right. Are you guys excited? So after I get a clear from my safety team, we will all together, I'm gonna need your help, count down 3, 2, 1, and then our team will release their first pumpkin.
Wait for the call, please.
Are we clear to launch? Robotics, are you ready?
They got hard hats on, they're safe.
No, he's talking behind the line.
All right. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Teams are aiming for 100 feet. Our scorekeepers will come out onto the field and measure how far we are away. I forgot to announce one of our teams. So we are live streaming today.
Oh, yeah.
Our Hard Rocker Esports team is here with a live stream. So if you have friends that weren't able to make it, send them a text message, give them a call, let them know that they can watch today's competition on Esports Twitch channel. Their handle is hardrocker_esports. There is a link on the Main Street Square Facebook page. And So you can watch today's competition, go back and watch the video after today. We will have a live scoreboard up on that Twitch channel so you can follow along on Twitch with our Hard Rocker Esports team. All right, so let's prepare for our second launch. So please pause traffic behind on the sidewalk. Let's make sure we're clear behind us. Baja, are you ready to launch?
So Matt, was one of your dreams to shoot a t-shirt cannon?
All right, we are clear. Launching in 3, 2, 1. And so as our teams prepared for competition today, they practiced with weights ranging between 6 to 8 pounds. This morning, our pumpkins weighed a little bit more than between 6 and 8 pounds. And so anytime you see a launch fall short,
What team was that?
it's because we've practiced with much lighter weights than we're launching today.
There we go.
All right, we are ready. As soon as the field is clear, we just have a little bit of traffic behind us we're gonna wait for. As soon as we're clear behind, Douglas, are you ready? Okay. We are clear, launching in 3, 2, 1. While we wait for our scorekeepers to clear the field, can we get another round of applause for Spearfish Middle School? The 8th graders out here competing against college kids. All right, if we would pause traffic on the sidewalk behind us. Spearfish Middle School, are you ready to launch?
That was Douglas.
All right, we are all clear. Launching in 3,
98.
2, 1. Way to go, Spearfish Middle School. While we wait for our scorekeepers, can I get another round of applause for Main Street Square? So the Pumpkin Festival is happening all day until 4 p.m. And so after we pause for our afternoon break, go over to Main Street Square. We have amazing vendors over there set up. The pumpkin way off. Right next to us, we have the $2 chuck. You can launch your own pumpkin for $2. And then you can join us back here at noon. All right, looks like the field's clear. Can we pause traffic on the sidewalk behind us? Okay, Demi car is ready, so let's count them down. 3, 2, 1. Way to go, Demi car. I think we made them hold that weight for a little too long on that one.
The middle school did better.
Hey, they're chemical engineers. We'll be nice to them.
Didn't all these other kids
Oh boy.
So as we prepare for our final launch of round 1, we will update scores in between launch 1 and launch 2. So if I could get my scorekeeper runner to join me back on the stage after Steel Bridge's launch so we can announce where our front runners are to the crowd. Our field is clear. If we could pause traffic on the sidewalk behind us. Steel Bridge, are you ready to crank? All right, so Steel Bridge is gonna start cranking right before they are ready to launch. They're gonna start yelling 3, 2, 1, so please join in with them. All right, Steel Bridge, go for it.
Oh, they're still cranking.
All right, that concludes our first round of launches. As soon as we tally up Steel Bridge's score, we'll update the scores and then move right into round 2. So competitors, if you haven't yet started, get your trebuchets ready for round 2. Round 2, we will be attempting to hit 200 feet.
36.
And so as we start to launch these further distances, it's especially important that the end of our field is clear. So if you've just joined us, we cannot have anyone standing at the end of the field. Please move to the sides. After we conclude round 2, we have a great booth. Baja Concrete Canoe is here. Our competitors will stick around. Come by, talk to us, learn more about camp. So all of these student competition teams fundraise to get to their competitions. So when they're building their robots, their vehicles, their chemi-car, their Steel Bridge, they're fundraising to be able to design and build those projects. They're fundraising to be able to go to their competitions. So stop by, learn more about their teams, how you can follow them on social media, and support them as they continue to build and design and get to their competitions. All right. All right, so our scores after round 1. So Steel Bridge clocked in at 36 points. Next we have chemi-car at 40 points. Tied at 40 points, we have Spearfish Middle School. Next, our Douglas Patriots clocked in at 98 points. Baja, we cannot remember your score. We will update you on Baja's score in the middle of round 2, and we have robotics coming in at 95. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start round 2. So first thing, we need to clear the sidewalk behind us. We cannot have anyone on the sidewalk behind the trebuchets in case of a backwards misfire. So if you would move to the sides. Okay, Baja, your score was 51. All right, it looks like our field is clear. We are clear on the sidewalk behind us. Robotics, are you ready? All right, round 2 in 3, 2, 1. That was quite the throw. Have you guys seen Grubby up here with me? Yeah. Our mascot from South Dakota Mines, Grubby, is here with us today, reminding you to come and support Hard Rocker Athletics. Come out, support South Dakota Mines camp teams. Thanks for coming, Grubby.
185.
So Grubby will also be around this afternoon if you guys want to meet Grubby, get a picture with Grubby. Thanks for being here. All right, Baja, are you ready? Our field is clear. Our sidewalk is clear. Oh, yeah. Launching in 3, 2, 1. The Baja team just asked me if they can get extra points for height. I don't know. Maybe in our future years of competition, we can figure out a way to measure height on these launches and add in some bonus points for height.
Put a drone. Put a drone up in the air, and if you hit it, you get extra points.
So I also want to show you our traveling trophy. So our winners today will take home this trophy along with their grand prize of $1,000 thanks to Respec. Our second place team will take home $500. These winnings will go towards their competitions. So once again, each of these teams are getting to competition later this year. So stop by and learn more about each of their teams. It looks like our field is clear. The traffic behind us is clear. Douglas, are you ready to launch? All right, launching in 3, 2, 1. Douglas will have a chance to relaunch if they can get their trebuchet loaded and ready in between the time that Spearfish launches. And so, cheer him on. All right. So, Spearfish Middle School, are you ready to launch? All right, we just need to make sure our sidewalk behind us is clear. All right, Spearfish Middle School, launching in 3, 2, 1. Great job, Spearfish. All right, scorekeepers, take your time. Douglas High School is getting queued back up.
Alright, how much did middle school get?
I didn't give you a score on them because they get it retry,
yeah.
but it's 70 for the one that just won.
Perfect. Love those middle schoolers.
Yeah.
Alright, hopefully it doesn't get jammed this time.
Yeah.
That was so sad.
I know. They did really well in the first round.
I know.
So.
Well, it's so strange how they do it.
Yeah.
I want to like actually see how the machine works, but it's kind of
it's just a pull screw.
Yeah.
And they have like a pin for.
Well, they have like little slots that it sits in, and you can pull it out.
Yeah. Good for a middle school. I think that's middle school, right?
No, that one's the high school. The middle school is Spearfish. But
Well, I'm gonna go stand out there so I can.
Sounds good.
All right, it looks like Douglas High School is just about ready. So if we could pause the traffic on our sidewalk behind us.
Oh, all right. Let's see it go.
All right, let's have a cheer for Douglas High School. All right, the sidewalk is clear. Douglas, are you ready? All right, launching in 3, 2, 1. That's why we are so cautious today that misfires can happen, and that's why it's so important that we don't have people at the end of the field or on either end. All right, moving on to Chemicar. Let's make sure our sidewalk is clear so they don't have to hold their weight on their trebuchet for very long. Are you guys ready? Chemicars ready? Sidewalk is clear. Field is clear. Go ahead and launch in 3, 2, 1. Woo! I think that one had a little bit more force. Their pumpkin broke. So we'll have our scorekeepers come out and measure. And we have one throw left in round 2, which concludes our morning round. But we hope that everyone comes back to join us again at noon.
14. I didn't know which way. Okay.
So as soon as our scorekeepers are clear, go ahead and pause traffic on the sidewalk behind us so we make sure that our sidewalk is clear. Steel Bridge, are you ready to launch? Okay, so they're going to start cranking, and then they'll count themselves down when they're ready to launch. Go ahead, Steel Bridge.
Get that thing spun. It's wobbling.
Great job, Steel Bridge. Got some exercise in there too. So if I could have my scorekeepers run back our scores after round 2. This afternoon we will be launching 250 feet and then our distance round. So meet us back here. At noon, we'll have some more t-shirts to launch out, more pumpkins to throw, more fun to have. Thank you all for joining us.
Okay. Is everybody else on? Okay.
41?
Yeah. Ask Joseph if he has Twitch. Just ask him if he has it. I'm yelling because Joseph out.
All right. I have an update for scores after round 2. Starting with team number 1 over here at robotics. You are in the lead with 185 points. In second place and in position number 2, we have our Baja team with 145 points.
Yeah. Do you just plug it in? Yeah.
Oh wait. These are just the scores for round number 2. My scorekeepers just informed me I am reading the scores incorrectly. So for round number 2, robotics, your score is 185. Baja, your score is 145. So if you remember scores from round 1, we can add those together. Unfortunately, Douglas has a 0 for round 2. Spearfish Middle School has 70 points from round 2. Chemicar earned 14 points in round 2, and Steelbridge earned 41.
Pointed right at us. Oh, I do. I'm all 15 people watching it. Let it go. I saw it when it was like wobbling. I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna. There's no way that they get a good throw out of that. That Douglas one though, now they freaked me out. Yeah, I was confident at first. They're moving that way too quick.
Well, it seems like, I mean, the other ones.
Yeah, there's like, you're using just the weight. You're not using like the unpredictability of like human force and then trying to time it. Oh goodness. Dang, there's quite a few people.
No, I think they say this. Yeah, it does look like
like a small little farm town getting together to celebrate the annual year. Do a haunted tractor ride downtown.
They'd probably do that.
How's it going, Ryan?
How are you?
Oh, I'm having fun.
Working okay?
Yeah, I haven't gotten hit with a pumpkin yet, and I'm kind of afraid to now. There are quite a few that are just going straight up, and I'm just watching it.
Hopefully.
And I'm like, I really hope it looks like it's like because it's looking straight up. It doesn't feel that way.
Very fortunate.
So how many years have you been, a part of this? How many pumpkins have you chunked?
I mean, they just have to have someone to hold it.
I mean, we've been doing the competition for quite a few years. I didn't go to all of them.
That's fair.
It was just so.
I'm gonna go on.
I've only been to like the last 3 or 4.
Okay.
But I think we've been doing it 6 or 7 years, something like that.
There you go. Oh, it's a fun event.
I'm judging by the weathered look of It's been around for a while. 7 years ago. Oh yeah. Yeah, I throw fresh paint on it sometimes.
Yeah. Just like fine sanding, some new stains. Look brand new.
I was actually pretty surprised at how like once we got it all in the trailer and everything, the height of it.
Police officer.
Like I wasn't worried at all, and then I was like driving down and I looked like as I was like passing under, I think it was like a telephone wire that was across the road. And I just looked in the rear mirror and looked. It got closer than I was thinking. It was. Yes. New rule, height restrictions, just so we can drive them around.
Wait, so what time did you guys start loading stuff off?
I was there at 7:15, and actually I dropped the trailer off last night, and so robotics had theirs loaded when I got there, which was nice.
They were excited, they're ready to go.
Yeah, and then we loaded the Baja one on the front of the trailer, and then my dad's trailer for Chemicar and yeah, robotics essentially need that. See, everybody else can take their arms off, but they're not quite so high. Right. Yeah, and I think Baja, they had it like kind of strapped down, so it's well, I guess they could kind of lay it down. Yeah. Well, yeah. You could lay it down probably. Yeah.
Hello. My mom's requesting if you could move the camera when it fires so she can see the pumpkin land as well.
So I've been trying to keep it pointed over there, but the issue is like half the pumpkins land here and half land there, and I missed like the Douglas one twice. So I'm trying to point it where the pumpkin
action
lands.
is.
I think some of us have enough airtime. Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to know where they're going with that.
I'm getting ready to duck and cover, like.
And then they don't go anywhere.
Fairly fortunate.
Because if I do this, that should show. Yeah, that shows all the way down to 300 yards. So I just keep it like this in between, so you can see all the wonderful people in their trebuchets. Yeah.
You have lots of viewers?
All 15.
15?
15, baby. No, we're at 9 now. Sorry.
We're in the middle zone now.
Yeah, they know they didn't see any more pumpkins, so they called it off. Unfortunately. No, but yeah.
Thank you.
No, absolutely.
How do you get to the stream? I've never used Twitch.
So if you just go to Twitch and look up Hard Rocker Esports.
I would like to put ones on this side that goes out the back.
Just look up Hard Rocker, I think it just comes up. Yeah, Hard Rocker Esports is the first one. And we got a brand new.
It's a new. Yep.
Alright, thank you.
Need more viewers so I can get more ad time. Ad payout. That's what I need.
Well, hey, my friend just asked if my mom's number. I'm like what? Is it like different? Hey, what's up? I know, like,
You didn't go get pizza?
Oh, no.
We need pizza.
Okay.
All right, I'll go. Where's your car? Your car's in the park.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, I have a key.
Okay. I was calling you to see where the pizza was.
Did we not get any?
Pizza will be
so
here in
the
30
next
minutes.
round, so there's,
Matt is going to get it right now.
We got a little bit of time
Pizza will be here in 30 minutes.
around
Get some
downtown.
drinks.
Sounds good.
And the next round is it new?
Yep, we got.
Have you ever seen the pumpkins? We're from the East
if
Coast.
we're gonna do
Well, we moved here 4 years ago, but whatever.
Let me announce.
You ever seen the pumpkin chunking that goes on in Delaware?
Biggest one in the country.
Yeah, with the super cannons, the trebuchets.
I may have seen, you know, if they put it on TV or something. Yeah, I've seen the big air cannons and all that fun stuff. Oh, yeah, I have seen it.
Yeah, I mean, what is it called when they shoot it out so fast it turns into piles?
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think the record out there, I thought, I swear to God, I thought it was like 4,000, right at 4,000 feet. That's too much.
Oh,
I think you guys are pretty
Pushing
close.
damn near a mile.
I bet if some of these people weren't going for accuracy, they could be whipping them into the crane mill over there.
So they get points for accuracy too?
Yeah, it's all accuracy is what it is. Except, well, there is one distance one, but they still have to stay inside the field. So it's
You gotta stay in.
So yeah, so we started with 100 feet and 200 feet. Now they'll shoot 250, and then they'll shoot a distance one.
Then we can't get over.
A distance one, but they still have to stay. They can't hit the road, and they have to stay inside the tape.
Do you want to sit on the bench?
Hey, Harley, are you doing
Everybody,
no.
12 o'clock. Yep, we're just starting out.
We're
Welcome.
down here and see this.
Playing game.
We watched that one.
I was about to ask how'd the game go on Friday, Saturday, last Sunday. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Sam! What is it? We play. There's like 5 teams. Justin! Who cares? Put him on the board. Sam! Bring everyone! Justin! Everybody on the bench. You gotta put more. You can sit on my knee if you need.
I'm just gonna stand behind.
Too much people on this bench. You can sit on my knee if you need to. I need to be on the bench. Sit on Chase's lap. Oh yeah.
Michael, get over here.
Justin, come on.
No, I'm
sit on your knee.
I am
So
good.
when I'll stand back down there and a pumpkin lands over here, people don't get to fall for.
That's okay. It's hard to tell. Pizza's on the way. What's the question?
Last time we fired, you saw how much it was shaking.
Yes.
We have moved around our weights and we were wondering if we could do a practice shot.
So yes, we're gonna wait like 10 minutes. Hopefully more people clear out.
Everybody get out. Start bouncing.
And rope off these trees over there. So if anything, I heard that.
It's sunk into the ground. Look at
Trebuchet that we want to so nobody can be like,
Don't promote
right
that.
by your trebuchet.
Thank you.
We're that special day. Literally making new rules just for us.
I grew up like this. My dad told me a lot of fun as a kid, and I was a very impressionable child. That's just credit on the safety of that bench. Someone's gonna die on that bench. It's like old ocean right now.
Yeah, no, because there's been a lot of people that just kind of like
Hey, how you doing? Well, good.
One day. It's always really fun to watch. How many years is it?
I don't know. Harley was kind of asking. Yeah, what? 6, 7, 8, somewhere.
This is going to be 7 years.
Yeah, I didn't.
Pretty popular.
I do want it. I've had a blue Gatorade in a minute.
What we did was some new
Why is it so complicated?
Yeah. You know, they had a.
Okay, so we're broadening that now. Yes. So you just haven't moved the building.
Yeah. I don't know how they got it.
Yes, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I am the longest person in that.
Good to see you guys.
I was,
First few weeks of school gone. Very concerned with that.
yeah, well, I mean, but at least it's worked out.
Exactly.
Wear a hard hat, Rachel. But it's like I've been doing safety training.
Rachel, it's just like something else.
No, not at all. But I've done a seminar with 107 students.
Thanks for that, I appreciate it.
Last year, at the end of the year, I'll do sporadically do them throughout the year because we get
Water bottle count.
So to already have 107 to 207
I'm gonna count down. 2, 1.
We have, so I was writing out our schedule, we have like varsity events pretty much every single day. We
Only so many hours a day,
Well, each team is in 3 different leagues that they compete in. And then they have one video meeting a day. So that's 3 teams taking 12 hours. So that's 36 hours a week scheduled out for varsity events.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so.
And then a lot of participation on the other side.
And then we have like 3 club teams for every single.
Yeah, I don't know what it's lots of freshmen.
Yeah, we had like that freshman like grade paper got like 92.
So it's a little bit like 45% of the people I've given has been freshmen. Ready? 3, 2, 1. So it has been just a
theory, but I'm pretty sure like losing everything with COVID in high school, and then coming to college and they don't have those things that you didn't have access to. Probably.
I kind of had that suspicion.
You whip back in the other direction.
Oh no, I've talked to people.
What if I show them really do anything and now they're in college?
The club still
That's my guess.
Hopefully it continues on as a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
they're not necessarily competitive, but it's just big one that hit me is I've always done those same top 3 times.
You gotta call it! Come on, this is Little League stuff.
You guys probably have good
You got to see it get launched. You didn't see that part. They're saved.
Is this getting streamed right now?
Yeah. I didn't turn it off.
Is the recording going to be available afterwards?
Yeah, it'll be on Twitch channel for about 2 weeks, and then I'll upload it to Google Drive sometime towards the end of the semester.
Hey, you should tell them to get you a nice camera, quality.
I'm working on getting other things for esports. So.
No, I'd say ask Mike, but Mike's gone.
Yeah.
Throw a 45-pound weight on.
Technically Amy. We're under camp now.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, athletics, kinda, yeah. I'm not bitter, you're bitter.
Athletics kicked you guys out, that's unfortunate. Look at the scholarship stuff.
Nice thing about esports is there are tons of tournaments where you can win cash prizing, so if you want a scholarship, you can go out there and earn it for sure.
Wait, so the cash prizes go to you individually, not the team?
75, or we usually do 70-30 splits, but we haven't had like any teams really winning cash prizing because they're competing against schools that give out full ride scholarships to their esports athletes.
Gotcha.
And like go to college because they don't want to play on the professional scene yet, or they want to get scouted to a professional team. So
Alright.
It's fun. It's fun.
So once you get that up on the drive, could we upload it to our YouTube channel?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
you
cool.
guys should be able to download it from Twitch.
Justin, are you the one that's gluten-free?
No, that's Rachel. I'm Gary.
Rachel. My husband's on
Yes, one of the big misconceptions
Well, and we were able to for a little while. Yeah. And like last year I talked with Mike about it, and he was like, well, here's the thing, we can either give like a $100 to like potentially $500 scholarship per player, but we don't have like, I can only think of like maybe 2 people that are like outstanding enough on their team that they make like huge differences and could be given a scholarship, but yeah, but
Okay, so can you get French fries from McDonald's?
like I played in a tournament against Missouri State esports this summer. And it was like, it was a tournament to win tickets to go to DreamHack for free and compete. Like, so if you won the tournament, you would get, like, they would give you a $500 travel stipend per player, and then they would give you a free ticket for, like, the Bring Your Own PC LAN event. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, when I signed up, there was only like 10 teams registered. I'm like, oh, great, no one's heard of this, no one. No, we played against Missouri Esports, and we were super excited. We had them join the lobby, and we're like, oh, all these people are ranked within like the top 10,000 of all players. Oh, wow. Like 3 of them had hit the top 500 at some point. So like they were all basically like borderline professionals. Like, oh, okay. Oh my goodness, yeah, I was like, and we're out. I didn't feel too bad. They ended up going all the way to like the championship and then losing. So.
Yeah, you not feel bad but because of that, but it's also kind of like, well, could you have gotten a little further if you didn't go against one of the best teams right away? Sort of
Yeah.
thing?
It was such a like I signed up the day before the registration closed, and I got a team like figured out. And I was like, this is such a long shot, but just in case like there's no one signed up and we win by default.
For sure. Yeah.
Here, I'll put this on the stream. This is more entertaining. How delayed is it? It's a little delayed.
Now we have 2 at once.
That's nice. Yeah. This is
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock?
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome.
Are we optimizing our water bottle catapult?
Yeah. I couldn't really find it. Well, I guess I didn't know it.
Oh, I actually said it.
We had a custom. I made a custom like overlay for the event, so it'd be really easy. So. Oh no, it's playing an ad. Dang it. Of course. Wait for a second. Oh well, the money goes half towards us, so. It's easier to see it on my phone because the screen is so much brighter. I'm struggling to see anything on here.
It's pretty good so far.
Another day in paradise.
Degree?
I'm going for a master's now.
Let's go.
So yeah, we got the. I don't know how to put the Main Street Square logo on there without making it look so tiny.
Yeah.
It's so spread out. There's nowhere.
Robotics and computer science, but I might have dropped the computer science one.
What you have to work with, right?
Are you just at the same
So I've got all the scores up there.
Oh, I could do
Get
this.
updated
And
when
now I'm
you
just
get
like,
them
that means it's free. So I of course have everything figured out.
Kind of regret doing the master's and not starting work. Another 2 years of school.
They get you a higher starting salary. Usually it's the equivalent of like 2 years work experience. So you have more beds. Plus, if you ever do want to like teach in the future, if you ever Dive across the grass.
Yeah,
Benefits definitely.
it's just.
You want to start making money?
Yeah, and Ohio State.
Yeah. I thought I saw a kid with blonde hair, and for some reason he looks a lot like Thomas, but I don't think he's in.
He graduated. fit and like, I don't know, injure himself in some way.
Oh, that was interesting.
Did you go up M Hill yesterday?
I went up M Hill when I graduated.
Okay.
You have like there was a picnic in town. I didn't even do that yesterday. Oh fuck! How about you?
I went up, but that's mainly because I'm feeling nostalgic.
Oh, sure.
I'm probably gonna be gone soon, so.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's not like, is it, so you're still getting something
Yeah,
up
I
and
should
running there
go up.
basically?
I
So it's
should
not
go
like,
up there.
is that a good workflow or is that just the nature of the job?
It's the new M, or the new, I'm surprised they didn't change the design.
Yeah, I think that would have been, you know, I've been heard there's enough on there that are a little on the upset side of the M change.
Oh, there's enough stains that are upset about that change.
Yeah.
Where are you hoping to end up then after you're done with your master's?
Yeah. One thing they didn't want to do is, hey, we're going to redo the M and give it new.
Guess what? Your name's getting put all over it. That makes sense.
Yeah, I should go up. Probably shift things around. My name's up there 3 times.
So did you get all 3 from mine?
I did.
Are you from Minnesota?
Sturgis.
Okay.
And well, yeah, and my PhD was just I was here working anyway, so well, so it's of course in mechanical engineering is where my research was a correlation between emotional intelligence and the engineering design process, and it was many years figuring that out, that was a good way to go. Some of that was it just kind of worked out. We were using the emotional intelligence assessment for camp stuff, and then it was like, hey, there's really any correlation between how you score on that and how you do design. Well, then I figured out that quantifying how somebody designs something is actually really hard.
I can imagine.
Just
Then I have a 7-month-old Siamese kitten, and it's definitely
It was very interesting. I got a degree out of it. Wrote a couple of papers. Got to present one paper in Valencia, Spain, so that was fun.
That's cool. Do you Spanish speak?
Not at all. Never had I ever Spain was not on my list of places to go or anything. But the department head of the ME department had a different professor going to the conference with a different paper and suggested maybe I should do the same, and I was like, hey, you guys paid for my trip to Spain? And I was like, yep. I was like, awesome, I'll give it a shot. So then really made a trip out of it because I was able to, I took my wife and I was able to do a layover in London for 4 days. So spent 3 days in Spain and 4 days in London. And had half the trip at least, half. Well, actually, no, they paid for the flight both ways because I was able to show that it was cheaper for me to do that layover in London than it was for me just to go directly back and forth from Valencia.
That sounds like you won that.
Oh yeah, I was working it really good.
What's your guys' next event?
12 o'clock.
Are you more of a dog person or a cat?
Oh yeah, I don't remember how. I stumbled onto it somehow, searching for plane tickets, and next thing you know, the cheapest, some site gave me, it's like, oh yeah, the cheapest place. It was one of those you had to, it was 2 separate tickets as well, because it was 2 separate airlines even, so it was a really weird setup. I was like, oh yeah, it's taking me to London, and then I fly to Valencia.
The pumpkins are not dressed.
Yes, I'm well aware. We just like that on why can't I put a few days in between when I leave and come? Sure enough, school bought it.
making bags of flour.
We're making bags of flour. Yes. We are. Flour containers.
We're only making it.
Yeah, we didn't. We're hurting ourselves actually.
Hello, everyone in
bad
the
for you.
area. We are going to do some practice throws, and so I just want everyone to be aware that these teams will be launching. And so if you're on the sidewalk back here, please be aware that there's throws happening. For all of my camp students, teams are going to start launching, so please be aware before you launch. Let those in the area know that you're about to throw. No one can be on the field. Thanks.
Another puppy, oh my goodness, look at that puppy. Oh my gosh. Aim for the street!
But
so just started.
Yeah, I think she's gonna keep. So she did her master's thesis on end of life education. So like training nurses to have discussions with people about how to like talk through their like end of life wishes.
Sure.
Desires. She worked on an ICU floor. If that kind of helps you preface.
Sure, gotcha.
So
witnessed it a lot and probably how messed up it can be if you don't do anything.
Well, yeah. She said like the worst part was like you have a lot of families that come in, especially like when you have younger patients that don't really quite understand what do everything you can to save them really means. See, that's what they should have done. So she's like, a lot of times you only get like 15 minutes in your shift to be able to have that talk, and it's a difficult talk to have. So she was teaching at a community college at the time, and so she had all of her former students like do a lot of like survey stuff to be like, how did this help you? Like have you actually gotten to use this skill? Should it be a mandatory part of coursework?
Yeah.
So. I always, she always made sure to let me know that I was, she was a single mom for a while, that I was her, like, last stop. So she always told me no trach, no peg, no Madonna. So. They have a motor to pull it back?
Yeah. They don't have to lift up on it. Electricity, that's unusual. I haven't read the official rules. I think somebody might Steel Bridge. You could maybe actually hook up electric motors.
Well,
wind it up.
That's what I thought. Is it all had to be like physically powered? Like nothing could be like electrically.
This probably doesn't count.
It just holds it. It doesn't.
Know that there was an actual slur that had the word bean in it, and so he kept calling people that slur, not knowing that it was an actual slur. And we all made fun of him for it.
Well, the one in the end.
I'm not gonna say it.
You want to say it? Can you spell it?
Dennis convinced me. Send ER to the end.
Man, it'd be so much funner to sit here and watch than 2,000 to say it.
Are you more cultured for doing all the slurs?
I think if you tell people, hey, look at how fast that pumpkin's going, they'd want to get out of the way pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, it works really well when you get one that does go backwards and you're like, yeah, that's why I'm kicking you guys out of here.
To ask who made the beans.
It's like a warning shot.
He also did not know that was.
Hi, how's it going?
How's it going?
Oh, you're so high energy.
Oh man, I feel...
You're doing great.
Okay, thank you. I was coming to see if you had any suggestions.
I don't have any suggestions. I do have a funny observation.
What?
When you do announcements, you're like, your Midwestern accent, you notice before the thought comes out, and it's super funny.
When I put on, it's my phone voice. That's what my little sister calls it. It's like when you go from just regular talking to like presenting or talking serious. Uh-oh. Where did it go?
I don't know.
It's on the ground right there.
Oh, that's problematic, I think.
They are technically adults.
We're less responsible than the high school coaches.
The high school and the middle school guys.
It comes with a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it does. Yes, they've got this.
Do you want to meet Matt in the parking lot to carry pizza?
Yeah, is he in that parking lot?
Yeah. I'm going to round up a few.
I'll be back. Make sure nothing gets spilled.
Nothing explodes or gets taken.
Yeah, that'd be nice. If I come, perfect.
I have a job.
yesterday was fast.
Yeah.
So, did we have anyone come to
Yeah, we have like 3 people.
I'm not gonna.
Like 3 or 4 like separate families.
If there's only 3 or 4 people that come, it's not worth trying to force it. So I'm gonna talk to them.
But we had a really interesting guy from Norway. I wish I could remember his name, but we chatted for like 20 minutes.
But yeah, because Harley said that like one family came by Easter. Because he texted me and he's like, when are people coming? And I was like, they should have been there by now. So, no, it was just for homecoming. Yeah, Kara wanted to bring alumni by, and so they advertised open house from 10 to noon.
Yeah, 10 to noon.
Before the, yeah. And so, yeah, I don't think we'll...
When are they starting up again?
Noon.
Noon? Okay.
So, yeah.
They're working a lot. Yeah, it would have been just as well to... I mean, they students might have been in there working anyway, but...
Yeah. So I think we're going to be at the football game for family weekend. We're still determining. So for sure, super mileage will be there. I was waiting until after homecoming to approach athletics about driving their car on the track. But they've got a demonstration planned that, and if we can't do it there, then maybe we'll just do it by the alumni tent and president's tent. But yeah. And then we'll probably gather up a couple more teams. So there's more presents, but I'm not going to try to get everybody. And then Formula will be there with their car at the gate. So I guess we at least have those 2 teams, and so I might try to ping some of our littler teams, Chemi Car. We want esports to do something for family weekend, and so I think that they'll probably do something similar to what they did at Summer Nights. Yeah.
It's getting better.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Since our tables are inside the fence, I need
What's your yard? There we go. So 300 feet. You gotta almost go to
Amy, guess what we have?
What's up? I think that the robotics team alone can do
Is there funded plates?
I thought you guys didn't need plates.
We don't.
No, I know.
Is it all the same?
Cheese and pepperoni, and are we allowed 2 without cheese?
Let's sort this out by cheese and pepperoni.
This all say cheese.
Oh, they're all down the back?
All the way to here. All the way to this one.
I guess I'm grabbing 2.
Pepperoni.
I was trying to only grab 1.
These don't say.
Double check these, but I found this.
Grass. Firm grass.
Cheese.
I think teams are taking it. No. I think to work.
Which one of these
Do you have two pepperonis?
doesn't have cheese?
There's two pepperonis.
Well, that's very helpful.
Which one's the one with no cheese? Can you see that there?
Not on this side. Might be this one. This one says custom.
Oh, custom.
Probably the no cheese.
That looks like no cheese.
Dustin.
There's no cheese. Located no cheese. This Dustin, that's no cheese. So we're looking at no cheese. No cheese. That's it. No cheese.
Pop off the lid inside of the plate. Kind of, you just fold it.
You just fold it and have at it.
Do you care if I take this?
Go ahead.
Please.
Take it. So much easier that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. That's okay. We didn't explicitly talk about exactly what needed to happen. And I was, as soon as I got really dressed, it was like drumline was here, things needed to get going, and I didn't know what time we would end. So it could have been like 10:30. Okay, we still did.
Hey, they
And
got
then I
it.
was like checking, I forgot to put my watch on.
Yes.
So I didn't even know when.
Sorry, guys. Our release was a little late.
My team got tacos and then ate them all. Get some pizza.
I'm gonna go see
Amy, do you want to grab me a water?
Yes.
Oh, amazing.
Here, should we? Should I dump these extra ones into? I guess this is melted because we've had it open, but I've never ever had all the ice in this cooler melt.
Really?
Yeah.
Fancy cool.
They probably overestimated the people.
I'm just here for more.
I want them just to fall out, but
There we go.
there we go. Okay.
Here, wait, Amy. Amy, no, come back. Somebody steal two boxes for a game.
You've been letting it. That's both cheese.
These are cheese?
Those are both cheese.
This is pepperoni?
Maybe. I can't see. These are marked and I'm
Yeah, this is pepperoni.
So, just let me think.
You got the extra. He's just a genius.
Yeah, that's it.
You got like one of those like drugs sniffing dogs.
Yeah, I can just tell. Oh yeah.
It's like clockwork. It'll be like I eat a shrimp, 30 minutes later I better be near a bathroom. But by the end of that night, I'm
12 o'clock. Well, should be getting really close. Enough time for them to eat pizza.
But I have a
You get really slow.
Get really slow.
all full peppers. I think I put 15.
It looked like it had too much weight, and it like threw the entire like stand. Yeah, what did happen to Baja? Why did it break?
Because they tried to throw a bag of flour and it basically dry fired it. So then all of our wood was also cracking. So now they're trying to do it
like that?
Yep. I think it actually worked this time.
And it blows it all into the crowd.
What is it you're throwing?
A bag of flour.
Oh, right. So we can start a flour fire. I said non-flammable.
Look at what you did. I got flour all over my PC.
I told him not to throw it.
It's gonna get in my fans now.
Yeah, for sure. Please. Well, it's gone.
No. Yeah.
No, I don't.
No, not at all.
I'm just here enjoying the view.
Oh, there it is.
How's it going, guys?
Got covered in flowers, now I'm angry.
Oh no. Is the live stream going all right? Oh, good.
I don't quite understand it, but cheese and pepperoni. So
that's the second cheeseless one. Or do you guys not know where this?
I don't know if there was a second cheeseless one.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, is there?
There isn't one.
Oh, that's a good question.
No idea.
It is just bread and sauce.
I think they have cheese and pepperoni.
Okay, I haven't seen it. The one that I found for you actually had a sticker on it. Take a pesto.
One of the other teams might have missed it when they got pictures.
No, maybe somebody took one.
Go find it.
I'd hope they'd look at that and go, ew, just nothing?
Right?
Just bread?
I mean, they're college students looking at free food.
We will eat all of these free food.
Also, have you been to Cervec recently?
I have not. I've kind of heard the rumors.
It's definitely expensive.
Water? I need some water.
Take some.
They've been struggling.
Oh no, Camp did.
Oh,
Of course.
Do you work at Black Hills Energy pretty often?
No, I don't know all the stories besides not very much selection.
So I went
not being very good. Enough that everybody was going over to Einstein's and trying to get over there and then making that place too busy and not open enough time.
Well, it's not even that. Apparently, it takes them like several minutes to go through a single order.
That's when it's not set up.
Like I think they said they had 2 or 3 like people like working.
There should be. There's some. I can't guarantee it,
but no, the first like in that first month I went down there and I actually ended up talking with like one of the managers and she was like, our food got sent to the wrong school. Then all the freezers went down. And they're still like missing their like worker supply or whatever they need to like run everything as well as like the new. That's cheese. What am I a Mr. Bean burger? In the where the Crab Shack used to be. That's what I keep hearing. And I saw the logo painted on the wall.
Boy, you'd almost think it would be maybe a little better off. Not necessarily go exclusive like that. Maybe let a sure.
Yeah, didn't they
let a competitor?
Still sign them in the last
like sign or whatever, Subway or whatever.
Should be in the right spot.
Oh yeah.
I miss mine.
Oh man. Yeah, as the story goes, they got a new food vendor. So, being they wanted to kind of start over, they fired everybody. was like, we're not hiring anybody for y'all. So you couldn't wait right now because all the switches.
What do you guys find out?
Oh, just part of with the new food service team. I heard some of their problem was is that they essentially didn't offer anybody who was with Airmark new jobs.
Yeah, I did hear that.
And so when they went back to try to hire all those people, everybody, I'm sure in the first week that they were laid off, they had jobs elsewhere.
Oh,
it was just so easy to get a job.
Well, it sounded to me like they kind of expected that to be the case. Like, I had been told, like, when they first signed with the new food place that none of their jobs were, like, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm sure they'd already.
Instead of doing that,
I don't understand why you would, like, feel the need to lay off all this. Well, because, like, it's such tight labor.
Learning skills they're looking at how those mechanisms fire, how they. I don't know. Steel Bridge mechanism goes off just a touch early. That was terrible. It is just straight up in the air.
Well, and the fact that it's on the edge too.
That was a perfect throw.
With how like much it moves, how uncomfortable it is to watch.
It is uncomfortable. Well, the one before that was some sort of spring-loaded contraption. I don't remember exactly. Like they I think wound up a spring or something, and it was just as terrifying.
Yeah.
Essentially,
They need to use metal.
They seem to like different. Like, hey, let's be terrifying with this.
Yeah, even Douglas is really kind of gets forgotten. At least steel.
Well, and it's like the pumpkin's contained in the middle, so you don't have that extra force whipping around.
I don't know. I think the lesson is you go pretty traditional like the robotics team, and it seems to work pretty well.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It is 11:43. No, I should combine this.
We are about to do a test throw, so no one can be on the sidewalk behind the trebuchet. So if you guys would all clear out on the sidewalk behind us so we can safely do a test fire. Thank you.
It may not be much.
There's just one.
You could go scouring out on, by each team too, because we let boxes go out.
You kind of just dropped it off and said, come eat.
Yeah.
How many events like this does Respec end up sponsoring? Too many. I was about to say, this isn't your first time firing a t-shirt cannon.
my second time in the last, like, actually.
Do you get free tickets to Rush games?
Okay, I just want everyone's attention. We are about to do a test throw. Are you guys ready?
Mine's cooler.
Okay, launching in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, it broke. Uh-oh. Man, they were doing so well.
Yeah, they kind of had two pretty good.
I'll catch you later, Dr. Quinn.
Hey, see ya. Thanks. Guess I'll go make my way. Hopefully, I'm not have to guard traffic. All right.
You said it was Hard Rocker Esports, right?
Yeah.
I built the t-shirt gun like 4 years ago. I shoot it like once or twice a year. And it works.
I mean, if it ain't broke.
Yeah.
Well, it's just compressed air that you're just gonna have to set up like a valve system to shoot it, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a goofy. It's got like an internal barrel and the external barrel, and the air is stored in between the two.
Hey, t-shirt launcher. Do you want to like get set up? Because similar to last time,
Rocker!
I'll call on you to launch the t-shirt.
He's ready. He's got them all taped and.
Grubby, Grubby might join you.
Oh.
So but we're like 5 minutes away from
T-shirt launchers. Are they shooting anymore?
Do you guys have any more practice? Do you have one more practice throw?
We did a Grubby pull before on our Grubby session.
Grubby, you into that? Okay.
Go over there. No, we're pointing in the right direction.
Also, make sure to film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael, you got it?
I should probably take pictures of people. Yep. Yeah, it is. Especially being this close.
Yeah. I'm a lawyer too, so all I see is liability.
All right, where's the state insurance
I
policy?
can't enjoy anything, yeah.
All right, who are they going through?
What are the exemptions to the policies?
Yeah.
We should up our umbrella cover.
It's fine with two for now. That's not gonna last long. Yeah. First day on the job and you break the pickaxe. Unbelievable. So sad.
That's an Amy question. I think I asked her earlier. She said cake.
Okay.
Yeah, ask her.
So yeah, all the way. Okay.
Back behind here.
What?
So how goes the stream?
Pretty good. People are starting to tune back in now that we're getting ready to throw stuff. Well, I'm glad we got that on camera.
Okay, Dustin, we're repeating everything, so you'll introduce your team.
It's just you and Dennis, Steven. They need an extra bed.
Did you see the Douglas one go straight off?
on robotics. So we are gonna do some test fires, and so I just want everyone to aware that we're gonna have some pumpkins flying, and so everyone standing back here. I'm sorry, you can't be back here. You're gonna have to move to the side of the field. I can't have anyone on the sidewalk. Thank you. All right. Okay, robotics, you can go ahead and do your test fire, and then we'll go down the line. Steelbridge, are you ready? Okay, you can go ahead and do your test fire.
Oh, it's speeding up. I think Steel Bridge is like net negative.
Spearfish, you can go ahead and do your test fire.
Honestly, it's better than never actually getting it down the field, though.
Right along the side.
I was talking to Ben, I was like, they need to start aiming for the center. Center of the field.
Just start like angling them inwards slightly, but
Mount a scope on each one.
yeah, we need to take a day out in the range and sight it in. Are those medicine balls?
I think they use, they were saying soccer balls filled with kitty litter. Balls filled with kitty litter. This guy right here.
Interesting. I mean, that makes sense.
The right weight, I guess.
I mean, that's similar to how, oh, what? Yeah, it's pretty fun medicine ball. It's just a way to fall. It just doesn't bounce. Maybe a little bit of bounce.
Plus, they're like specific weights, too. So
Yeah.
you have like 8 pound and 9 pound.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could add, take away pretty easily. But never not creative. I thought you were going to be shooting off t-shirts by now. All these people want to get in test throws. I was going to try and have a tailgate spot at the homecoming game today, but they sold out of their like ramp tickets Tuesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's crazy.
You used ours.
Do you guys have a season? Alright. Easier to drink at home anyways. Then I can watch real football.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go home and nap.
That's fair. I didn't have to wake up as early, so. I think robotics is just gonna win. Unless Baja figures it out.
Yeah. But they've got some ground to make up, right?
Well, like, as they go further, the point you can get, like, triples.
Yeah, exactly.
So, actually, Spearfish Middle School is in 3rd place right now. Douglas High School's at 98, because they got their 98 on the first, and then 0 on their second. Steel Bridge is at 77, because most of theirs are just getting shot straight into the ground. Kenny Carr's at 54, which is kind of where we expected them to be.
Sounds about right.
So, can't say too many mean things, because it does pick up a good deal of sound. But for those listening,
talk about us.
well, I'll make fun of my esports team. There you go. Yeah, I put a joke because we played against Iowa 2 days ago. And it was a really close match. We won the first, it was best of 3, so we won the first round. And we lost the second round, but they had someone disconnect, but they're like, no, we'll just keep playing. So we lost a 4v5, but then won 2 5v5s. It was weird. It was weird.
What game was it?
Welcome everyone to our afternoon pumpkin chunkin launches. Thanks for coming.
Sure. Alright, over there you shall point.
My name is Amy Hasvold, and I am your MC for this afternoon, and I am the director of the camp program at South Dakota Mines. And so the majority of our competition teams here today are a part of the camp program at Mines. These college students are each competing in a competition throughout the year. They are designing, building, or competing in a different project. And so when we introduce the teams, they'll tell you a little bit about what their project is. And they are competing today for a grand prize of $1,000 to go towards their project budgets. And that prize money is thanks to Respec. And so Respec is a local engineering company, started here in Rapid City. It's headquartered here in Rapid City. They now have over 500 employees across the United States, do engineering work worldwide. They have a booth over in Main Street Square, so go and visit them. Thank you for putting on this event for us today. Thanks to Main Street Square for having us. We're so excited to be here. I'm so excited to see all of you here. Before we get started, I have a few safety announcements. And so we're here to have fun, but we want to make sure that everybody leaves safely, happy, and healthy. And so the rules of the competition today are: no one can be behind the catapults during launching. So if you're standing behind the catapults and you plan to stay and watch, please find a space around the field on the edge of the tape. Same thing goes for the back of our field. So no one can be at the back of the field. These afternoon launches are distance. And so the first launch, our teams are trying to hit exactly 250 feet. They'll get points based off of how close to 250 feet they hit. The last throw of this afternoon is for distance. And so they're attempting to throw as far as they can towards the end of the field without going outside the tape. If they go outside the tape, they are disqualified. But we will have pumpkins being flung all the way to the end of the field, so absolutely no one can be standing or sitting on the end of the field. We will make sure that nobody is standing behind the trebuchets before we launch, and so we'll pause traffic. We've designed and built these catapults with safety in mind, but sometimes misfires do happen. So it is possible that we will be launching pumpkins behind us on accident. So it's important that everybody's aware before the launches, and we're making sure that everybody stays safe today. So that goes for everyone on the sidelines. That tape is there for a reason. Please, everybody, I want you to take just one big scoot back. We don't want anyone inside the tape. You can't be on top of the tape. So please be sure that the tape is hanging up and you are a clear distance away from the tape, because I don't want anyone being hit with pumpkins. We're chunking these pumpkins, guys. So as you can see, there's some pumpkin guts all over the field from earlier. The pumpkins will explode when they land on the field. We don't want anyone being hit with a piece of pumpkin. So some of the boundaries have been widened to make sure everyone stays safe. So even if it's not a square, stay outside of that tape. It's there for a reason. All right. With that, I think we're ready to start introducing our teams. And so our first team today, right here first in line, is our Rocker Robotics team from South Dakota Mines.
Hello everyone, I am Dustin Richards. I am the president of Rocker Robotics. Like Amy said, our trebuchet is right there with the blue arm. We are a competition robotics team that every year we do a different competition. We haven't decided on our competition yet this year, but it is likely going to be something with wheels or tracks, and we'll be running on the ground, autonomous, or remote controlled. That's sort of our theme. I am a 6-year master's student here at the School of Mines, getting a master's in computer science and engineering. And a note to the kids that are hiding underneath the stage, we know you're there.
Thanks, Dustin. So next up is our Baja team from South Dakota Mines.
Hi everybody, my name is Cassidy Chauvel. I'm the president of the Baja team this year. What our team does every year is design, build, and compete with an on-road vehicle. So you can take a look at our car. It's here today. And then our trebuchet is the kind of red-orange one. It's named the Kool-Aid Man, kind of the color of Kool-Aid. So thanks for coming out today.
Thank you. So in addition to our camp teams from South Dakota Mines, we have 2 future camp teams with us. The first one is here from Douglas High School.
So I'm Leah. This is Kiernan, Peyton, and Weston. We are the main tech club people of Douglas, officers of Douglas. This is our first year of doing a flywheel trebuchet, and it definitely has taken a pull on where and what we were doing. When we were at the school, we were able to launch over 85 feet, and that beat the school record almost over 100 feet. And coming down and having bigger pumpkins than we even planned for, and then on top of that it was even bigger, it's definitely harder for us to figure out how to do this. It changed everything.
Thanks, Douglas. So that reminds me, so as our teams were practicing for today's competition, they were practicing with pumpkins between 6 to 8 pounds. Our pumpkins that we're competing with today, some of them weigh up to 12, 13 pounds. And so we're doing a lot of on-the-fly engineering here, and it's a great representation of what these engineers are working with every day on their project teams and in their classes. And so next up, our team is from Spearfish Middle School.
Hey, my name is Colin. My name is Amelia.
My name's Abby. Today we actually didn't expect to get as far as we did today. It was really exciting. We actually only had like 3 or 4 days to build this. It was really fun to build, really energetic in the classroom, and it was super fun.
We started this project on Tuesday, and we did not have much of a plan until Wednesday, and then we just we went off of that, and then we made it today.
Yeah.
Thanks, Spearfish Middle School. So their goal today was to launch at least 50 feet, which they have achieved. So excited to have Spearfish Middle School here competing against our college students. And I can't wait to see all of you guys from Douglas, Spearfish, and all of you kids in the crowd in future years at South Dakota Mines on one of our camp teams. So next up we have our Chemi-Car team from South Dakota Mines.
Hi, my name is Ellie Smith. I'm a 4th-year chemical engineering major, and I'm one of the co-captains of Chemi-Car. Basically, Chemi-Car, we have a shoebox-sized car that we start and stop based off of chemical reactions. And when we get to competition, they tell us our distance an hour before we start, and then we have to use our calculations to figure out how much of whatever chemicals we need. Our trebuchet is the second from the end. It's not the best, but at least we're good at Chemi-Car.
And Chemi-Car has competed here before, but they built this trebuchet or catapult from scratch starting this year. So come on back and see them next year with a bigger catapult. And our last team competing today is Steel Bridge.
Hi everyone, my name is Ruth Potter, and I'm the captain this year of Steel Bridge. Steel Bridge competes every year with a new rule set, so competition in our spring semester. So we're very excited for that. We'll see how it goes. We're going to be in Colorado Springs this year competing. Our trebuchet is called Positive Mental Attitude because that's what we're trying to have today. So let's go chuck some pumpkins.
Thanks, Ruth. We have a few more of our teams here helping out with scorekeeping, safety, so I just want to have a chance to have those teams share a little bit about their team. The first team was Clean Snowmobile. They were here this morning with our safety team. We have a new team here this afternoon that you'll meet. Our Clean Snowmobiles team's goal is to adapt a snowmobile to have low noise and low emissions. Our next team that's here helping is our Concrete Canoe team.
Hey everybody, my name's Ben Lewis. I'm the captain of the South Dakota Mines Concrete Canoe team this year. I'm a junior civil engineer, and every year we design and build a concrete canoe that floats, and we go to competition and we race it. So, and this year we are helping out with scoring for the trebuchet competition.
All right, and our next team here helping is our super mileage team.
Hi everyone, my name is Haven Larson. I'm the president of Super Mileage. We basically build a car that goes really far using not a lot of gas. We're out here helping with safety, like said. Thanks.
And so last year's super mileage car, I just want to share with you, went over 1,000 miles per 1 gallon of gasoline. And so when he says high fuel economy, it's extremely high fuel economy, this vehicle that they're building. Our last team here helping out is our esports team. They are streaming this competition live on their Twitch channel, hardrocker_esports. And so you can tune in, text your friends that weren't able to come here and let them know that they can watch on Twitch. It's also linked to the Main Street Squares post about Pumpkin Chunkin. We also have a live scoreboard, so I'll be announcing scores, but you can also follow along real time. That scoreboard is at robotics.sdsmt.edu/pumpkins. And so if you want to pull up that scoreboard, you can follow along today. So I just want to let you guys know where we're at for scores after our morning rounds. So, in first place, with 280 points going into round 2 is our Rocker Robotics team. In second place with 196 points is our Baja team. And so Robotics and Baja are our first place and runner-up respectively from last year. So they're in a runoff to take home our traveling trophy and the $1,000 grand prize. In third place, we have Spearfish Middle School with 110 points. Next up, we have Douglas High School with 98 points. Steel Bridge with 77 points. And our Chemi car is rounding out our competitors with 54 points. All right, so who's ready to see some pumpkins? Before we get started, we've got some t-shirts to shoot out into the crowd. So we've got Grubby, our South Dakota Mines mascot, out in the field with our t-shirt cannon with t-shirts from Respec and South Dakota Mines for you guys. So we at South Dakota Mines have had a pretty busy week. It is homecoming this week. And so our homecoming game is this afternoon. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. So we hope that some of you are joining us down at the stadium for the homecoming game. There is a concert after the game. Flannel will be starting playing right after the game. We're excited for that. That's open to everyone as well. If you can't come and cheer on our Hard Rockers today, we hope to see you at our next home football game, which is October 1st against Black Hills State University. So if you're down here from Spearfish today, come on down in a couple weeks and cheer on our hometown teams. And so let's hear the crowd for these t-shirts. Thank you, Grubby. Now, just a few more safety reminders before we get started. So no one can be standing behind the trebuchets when we shoot. So there is a chance for misfire. So there can be no one on the sidewalk back here behind the trebuchets. So please clear the sidewalk before each launch. We will make sure the sidewalk is clear before launching. We'll make sure the field is clear. Once I get the clear from all of my safety volunteers, we will make sure the team is ready to launch, and then we'll count them down. So I need everybody's help counting down each team so everyone in the crowd is aware that we're about to launch a pumpkin. Robotics, are you prepared for your first launch? All right.
Oh my god, the sun is making the keyboard.
Field is clear. Sidewalk is clear. All right, robotics. 3, 2, 1. Amazing demonstration from our robotics team. So just a reminder, this round their goal is to launch exactly 250 feet. Any foot that they're off of that 250-foot mark gets subtracted from their score. So for this round, they have a chance of earning 250 points. And then for every foot off of that 250 is subtracted from their points. So as soon as the field is clear, our back is clear, if our safety officers can pause traffic on the sidewalk behind us, we do need the sidewalk behind us clear for launches, and so if you guys can move off of the sidewalk, please.
Alright. You're 3 feet off.
Yeah, 3.
That's not. It's like their closest throw of the day so far.
All right, Baja team, are you ready?
Baja's next. Sounds good.
Okay, launching in 3, 2, 1.
See where it goes. Wait, did they throw 2 pumpkins?
So the Baja team had a little surprise for you guys in that pumpkin.
Not again.
All right, next up is our Douglas High School team. As soon as the field is clear, we will pause traffic on the path behind us.
Hey, sir.
Oh, awesome. I'm taking points off for that flower trick. Oh.
All right, the field is clear. The path behind us is clear. Douglas, are you ready? All right, launching in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, come on. There they go.
149.
Great job, Douglas. So why our scorekeepers are measuring. All of these teams fundraise to go to their competitions to build their different projects throughout the year. Most of these teams will be competing in a national collegiate competition at the end of the school year. And so if you would like to learn more about our camp teams, we've got the Baja car and the concrete canoe right over here. So you can stick around a little bit after Pumpkin Chunkin to talk to me to learn a little bit more about camp. You can also visit our website, sdsmt.edu/camp, to learn more about each team, find out how to follow them on social media, become their fan, and support them on their way to their competitions. So as soon as our safety or scorekeepers are off of the field, I'll have us pause the traffic on the sidewalk behind us. If we could clear the sidewalk behind us.
What do you got? 100? 100 flat?
Spearfish, are you ready to launch?
Spearfish go.
right, our sidewalk is clear. Our field is clear. Spearfish launching in 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Spearfish, you just flew your goal out of the water, hitting at around 100 feet. So our Chemi car team is getting locked and loaded. So they are, this team takes a lot of strength to launch. So I want you guys to start cheering them on, hyping them up to be able to hold their trebuchet while we get our safety team off the field. We're gonna pause traffic. The sidewalk is almost clear. All right, sidewalk is clear, field is clear. Chemi car launching in 3, 2, 1. So the Chemi car wants me to share with you guys that they should win the safety award for today because their trebuchet is with those short launches, no chance of anyone in our crowd getting hit with a pumpkin today. So give a round of applause to Chemi car for that super safe pumpkin launch they just made. All right, our last launch of round number 3 is our steel bridge team. So our steel bridge team needs to crank up their trebuchet. So when we are clear, they're going to start cranking, and then their team captain is going to start counting down 3, 2, 1. So I need everyone in the crowd, when they hear them start counting 3, 2, 1, join in. Our sidewalk is clear. Our field is clear. Steel bridge, are you ready to crank? All right, go for it.
Crank it up. And there it goes.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, they gotta get it going up. They gotta get it going fast. Oh no!
Alright, so we'll wait for scores to come in from round 3, and I'll let you guys know where we're out before we move into our final round of pumpkin chunkin'.
Wow. That's scary. Just imagine sitting right there.
That one was 86. 86, alright, thank you.
Is anybody home? Did anybody get
Alright.
Do you like pumpkin pie? Are you going to be minusing points for how close it was?
So yeah, so they go and measure it. So basically they have to hit the certain length, right? So they have to hit the 100
Okay,
and the
score
200
update.
and the 250. And then for every foot that they're off, they lose.
Our first position team right here at the start of our line is our Rocker Robotics team. They have 527 points coming out of round 3. Next in line, our Baja team, 345 points. Next in line, Douglas High School with 198 points. Edging out Spearfish Middle School, that is now at 197 points. All right, which brings us to our Chemi car team with 54 points. And then rounding out our line. Our Steel Bridge team is now at 163 points. And so this brings us to our final round of launches for today's Pumpkin Chunkin competition. So today we'll make sure now for these launches that behind the trebuchets are clear. At the end of the field we're clear before launching. Their goal is to launch the farthest possible they can without hitting a car on 5th Street. So they'll get points for how far they launched, plus bonus points for where they are in the progression of how far this final launch was. And so lots of points are available for this last round. So first, we need to clear our sidewalk. So anyone on the sidewalk behind the trebuchets, I'm sorry, but you cannot be back there in case of a backwards misfire. You can see a few pumpkin chunks back there from earlier today, so it's very important that our sidewalk behind the trebuchet is clear. Our end of the field is clear. Our field in the middle is clear. All right, robotics, are you ready to launch? Let's get a cheer going for robotics' final launch, our leaders in the competition today. Robotics launching in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, is it in? Is it in? Oh, it's in.
Quite the launch, robotics. Earlier, the Baja team suggested that they should get bonus points for how high their launch went, not just how far it goes, but I don't know, guys. I think robotics might have beat you on that one. That was also pretty high. These projectiles, the further they go, the higher they go. Baja is making sure that their trebuchet is safe to launch, so we're just going to wait for a minute. Okay, Douglas, are you ready to launch?
Oh, Douglas is going.
Okay, so let's pause that traffic on the sidewalk behind us, make sure that we're ready to launch. Make sure our field is clear. Douglas is getting into position.
289. 289. Gotcha. Got them all riled up now.
All right. Douglas, are you ready to launch? Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, can you get it?
Great job, Douglas.
I think they put away Spearfish. I think so too. Hopefully.
Baja, how you doing? Okay, well we're going to move on down the line to Spearfish Middle School. We'll let them go ahead and launch as soon as our scorekeepers are off of the field.
Do the scorekeepers have a score?
Oh man, Chemikar also has the lead prize for quickest to arm their trebuchet. No time at all, very reliable. All right, is the sidewalk behind us clear? Please pause traffic.
So is Chemikar going or is Spearfish going? Chemikar. Okay.
All right, the sidewalk is clear. Chemikar, are you ready? Launching in 3, 2, 1. So the rules of the competition are we measure from where the pumpkin finally rests. So since that pumpkin rolled, they got a few extra bonus feet.
What was the score for Douglas? I think it was 180.
All right, Baja is still making sure their trebuchet is safe to launch. Spearfish Middle School, how are you guys doing? All right, Steel Bridge, do you want to get ready?
The 180 should be right. What
Don't you want to finish?
Who's up?
Okay, please pause traffic on the sidewalk behind us as soon as the sidewalk is clear. If I could just get my scorekeepers to scooch over to the edge of the field just a little bit, I would appreciate it. All right. Field is clear, sidewalk is clear, end of the field is clear. Steel Bridge, you can start to crank.
Come on! 3, 2, 1! Watch out,
All right, Baja, you are ready. As soon as our scorekeepers are off of the field, we will come back down the line to our Baja team.
So what's
I think it's floating pivot. That's what I was calling it. They called it something else. I can't remember if I corrected myself.
All right, our scorekeepers are entering the score. If we could get the sidewalk behind us clear. Pause traffic. Behind the Baja Trebuchet is clear. All right, Baja, are you ready?
Chemi car was 31.
Launching in 3, 2, 1. That was one heavy pumpkin, you guys. That's probably 14 pounds is how much that pumpkin weighed. So quite a bit more than we were planning on launching today. So give a round of applause to the Baja team for launching that chunk of a pumpkin. All right, Spearfish Middle School, are you ready for your final launch? All right, as soon as those scorekeepers finish tallying up Baja's score, we will pause traffic on the sidewalk behind us. If you're on the sidewalk behind us, please scooch over to the edges of the field in case of a backwards misfire. The end of our field is clear. Our scorekeepers are off the field. Spearfish, are you ready?
That's just where the...
All right, launching in 3, 2, 1. All right, stick around for just a few minutes while we tally up these final scores. Can I get all of our teams to join me around the stage to announce our final scores and winners?
They set up the bleachers and they take it off and stuff like that.
So while we wait for these scores to get tallied up, our Steel Bridge team has a demonstration, which I guess I know I just called you guys all over here, but if you want to load your trebuchets with your practice balls, if you want to launch one final launch with one of your practice balls to demonstrate how these trebuchets perform with the calculated weights, we want to show that off for you.
Okay, 7.
And so we'll have just a few more launches. So these balls that these students have prepared, they've measured them out, they've filled them with some sort of substance, dialed in the weights, and so a lot of them are soccer balls, volleyballs, basketballs filled with kitty litter, sand, rocks, something like that to weigh them down, medicine balls that they know the weights of, and that's how they practiced and dialed in these trebuchets before we came here today.
Oh yeah, they won by a pretty large margin.
They cleaned up. I should have put money on it.
Okay. Steel Bridge, are you ready? Oh, Oh, not yet, not yet. They're not ready.
There's just a catapult.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
I guess I'm the official guy.
Yeah. Get after it, Harley.
That's how it was already up to date. It was already.
Should have taken bribes.
I know. My goodness, I could have put my thumb on the scale.
Yeah. Harley, this is my dad.
Oh, okay, nice to meet you.
Harley's the esports student coordinator. Is that your title?
Yeah. Usually I just go by esports guy, but like that's the official title. So.
All right, we have these final auxiliary throws for you guys to see today. So if we could get the sidewalk behind us clear, please, for these last throws. As soon as that sidewalk is clear, we will let Steelbridge demonstrate their trebuchet with their weighted ball. All right, the sidewalk behind us has to be clear before they launch, so if you're standing on the sidewalk, please move to the edge. Thank you, thank you. All right, Steelbridge, are you ready to crank? Okay, launching in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Do any of our other teams want to do a final throw? Robotics? Douglas? Okay. Robotics, are you ready? Douglas, are you ready? Okay. It'll just be a couple more seconds. Thanks for sticking with us, waiting for this very exciting announcement about our winners.
It's hard to see
Harley is
several of
he's
the
just like a really big go-getter, like fundraising and stuff.
So Chunkin comes down and then the smaller black tail
Hits
hits
the
the track on the horizontal track, that hang line and line thing. Oh, those are the brake discs.
Yep, those are radars. Yep.
All right, Robotics, are you ready?
Almost. So close.
Okay, if we could pause traffic on that sidewalk behind us before we launch. If you're on the sidewalk behind us, I do need you to move off to the sides for this launch. All right, our final auxiliary launch from our robotics team. Are you ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right, Douglas Middle School, or Douglas High School, are you ready? Okay, so while Douglas High School finishes their preparation, we'll go ahead and announce our final scores. And so, Chemicar, I don't know if this is a surprise to you, but unfortunately, you are in last place. Finishing the competition with 110 points. Can we get a great round of applause for Chemicar coming out today with their brand new catapult. Our next team finished the competition with 296 points, Give a round of applause to Spearfish Middle School. Great job. Very impressive performance, starting your catapult building on Tuesday, getting your plan together by Wednesday, showing up today, and finishing with 296 points. Next place, we have Steel Bridge finishing the competition with 350 points. Congratulations, Steel Bridge. That brings us to third place. Our third place team is the Baja team with 498 points. Which means that our second place winners and winners of $500 goes to Douglas High School. And so with that, let's let them do their final shot to celebrate their second place win. So if I could have the sidewalk behind me clear, no one can be on the sidewalk behind us for this launch. The field is clear, so as soon as the sidewalk behind us is clear, I have a few more people that need to just keep moving over all the way to the edge of the sidewalk. Absolutely no one can be on the sidewalk behind the trebuchet. All right, behind the trebuchet is clear. Grubby, you good? Okay, launching in 3, 2, 1.
Whoa.
A wonderful demonstration from Douglas High School. Hope you grabbed that ball before it rolled out into the street. Which brings us to congratulate our returning champs and champions of this year's Pumpkin Chunkin. Please come to the stage to accept your trophy, Rocker Robotics.